The fundamental shift in AI right now isn't just about getting, slightly better text output. We are watching the technology move from creating static art and video to becoming a full dynamic, self-contained simulation engine.
And that kindability is revolutionary. The concept of world models is officially here, and that changes the fundamental operating floor for almost every industry, especially one massive sector we need to talk about immediately.
Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission today is to go straight into the recent source material you shared and unpack the acceleration curve that is pushing AI rapidly toward 2026. This isn't simple iteration, this is a step change in capability.
Yeah, it's a lot to synthesize quickly, but the patterns are sharp.
Absolutely. We're going to unpack the AI takeover of the $190 billion gaming industry, define that powerful but sometimes intimidating automation tool known as NAN, discuss the strategic implications of major acquisitions like NVIDIA and Grok, and analyze why trust is quickly becoming the new frontier for multi-hour AI agents that are currently emerging. Okay, let's unpack this, starting with the rise of these digital worlds.
So if we look at the core technical breakthrough first, it's the world models. A simple definition for you would be AI systems that generate full 3D interactive game environments directly from a simple text prompt. We're not talking about rendering a picture. We're talking about generating a playable space.
And the scale of this impact is instant, isn't it? We're talking about the entire $190 billion gaming industry feeling this shift right now.
That's the key. These tools can replace months of highly technical work, things like asset creation, texture mapping, with just minutes of AI generation. You feed the models something complex, maybe jungle temple level with lava traps and hostile AI spiders, and it instantly creates a fully rendered, playable 3D space.
That speed is just astonishing, and we're seeing that efficiency translate directly into corporate metrics. The developers of Aliens vs. Zombies, Game Gears, they publicly reported a 4 times increase in their development speed using these tools.
Right, because the AI handles the bulk of the tedious work. It creates the initial geometry, applies base textures, lighting. This frees up human designers to focus on artistic refinement, unique assets, and, the game experience itself.
It goes beyond environments, too. We also saw big players integrating AI for character depths, that Fortnite example, an AI-driven Darth Vader NPC. That was a fascinating collaborative build between Google, 11 Labs for the Voice, and Disney.
And this tech isn't locked away in some lab. We saw Runway launching their own world model back in December, and World Labs released a system called Marble recently. It means game engines are rapidly becoming conversational. You just talk to them and they build.
But here's the tension, right? While the corporate side is celebrating these massive efficiency gains, not everyone is cheering.
Exactly. 6 European game developer unions recently raised significant concerns. They're saying that AI adoption is being forced onto production teams, and they argue it's actually worsening working conditions.
So the tension is cultural and technical. Beyond job security, what is the core worry developers are talking about?
It centers on what they call AI slop. The concern is that quality control just drops off a cliff when everything is generated so quickly. You get a model churning out huge volumes of content that meets the basic prompt, a jungle, a trap, a spider, but it lacks refinement, artistic intention, and originality.
So if 2023 was the year of AI art and 2024 was AI video, then 2025 and 2026 are definitely shaping up to be the year of AI as the full simulation engine. Beyond the jobs concern, what's the biggest technical challenge to this rapid adoption of world models?
Maintaining quality control over that flood of generated content is the immediate limiting factor.
That makes perfect sense. So we've talked about AI simulating worlds, but the real challenge begins when that AI starts taking action inside your workflow. That shifts our focus from simulation to agents and automation.
Yes, we're moving into AI agents, automated systems that perform multiple steps across different applications without needing constant human oversight once they're kicked off.
And the tool that often shows people just how deep this rabbit hole goes and sometimes scares them a bit is NAID.
It does look complex because it is powerful. NAN is one of the most powerful no-code tools for building these real, multi-step AI agents.
So for the listener trying to grasp its power, how does it actually work?
It's like stacking Lego blocks of data and logic. You pull a trigger block, say, new email in Gmail, then you chain a logic block, analyze with GPT, and then an action block, post a summary to Notion. It allows for full automation, auto-posting, auto-replying, auto-writing. And crucially, it connects AI to the services you use every day, like Sheets, Discord, Telegram. It's the central nervous system.
But you can't master something that powerful instantly. I think a lot of us feel that. I mean, I'll admit, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself, even in simple automations, when I try to get an AI to maintain context over just a few steps.
And that's a necessary admission, because expertise is built slowly. The goal isn't to master NN in one sitting, but to make sure your brain already gets the underlying logic. If you understand how data moves from A to B, then when you move to advanced agents later, the ones that run for hours, it all becomes much easier.
So if N8N is so powerful, why do experts emphasize building that slow foundational understanding first?
Understanding the underlying logic prevents critical, cascading errors once you move into deep automation. Let's pivot now to the broader financial picture, because the money tells us just how existential this race has become. We saw a massive acquisition. NVIDIA bought Grok for $20 billion.
That valuation is incredible. It nearly tripled Grok's previous $7 billion number. Why such a huge jump for chip technology?
This is the definitive answer to where the arms race is focused. NVIDIA clearly saw Grok's AI chip technology, their LPU architecture, as a real, fundamental, existential threat that needed to be absorbed immediately, no matter the cost.
And the threat wasn't based on size, it was speed, right?
Precisely. Grok specialized in low-latency inference. While traditional GPUs are great for training models, the heavy-lifting Grok's tech was built for lightning-fast deployment. For these emerging multi-hour agents we're discussing, that low latency is crucial for decision-making. So NVIDIA didn't just buy a company, they bought an insurance policy against a disruptive architecture.
Shifting gears a bit to the culture around all this, even as the tech gets faster, public trust remains extremely volatile. We saw some strange news from the U.S. government.
We did. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security released an AI-generated video of Santa Claus acting as a deportation agent, part of a naughty list campaign.
And the public reaction was not good. People widely deem the video disgusting, especially using a figure like Santa for that kind of message.
And there was a fascinating historical irony to it. St. Nicholas was originally from Turkey, which led some people to call it a cultural cell phone. It just shows how fragile public trust is here.
On a much lighter note, though, we also saw smaller, helpful integrations. Notebook LM teased new British voices for 2026, and Google shared useful tips on how to maximize their slide deck feature.
Right, that balance is key. And addressing that concern of over-reliance, we saw a Nobel Prize-winning physicist sharing strategies on how to leverage AI without completely outsourcing your critical thinking. That's an essential skill for every learner today.
So what key insight does that massive Grok acquisition give us about the state of the AI arms race?
Companies view superior chip technology for inference speed as an existential threat, justifying enormous valuations to eliminate competition.
And that brings us to the core story of 2025, acceleration. The breakthrough isn't just that the AI is smarter, it's about how fast the old limits on task length are breaking.
Yeah, consider where we were just 12 months ago. Gemini 1.5 was new, multimodal understanding is clumsy, and agent-style projects were just starting to appear.
But the critical metric, the one that drives real organizational change, has been task length. The amount of time and complexity an AI can handle autonomously is now doubling every 7 months.
Whoa. I mean, just imagine scaling that to 1 billion queries that don't need human input. That compounding speed is what's different now. When models could only handle short tasks, the human was obsessed with the prompt quality. But now, these models can actually think for hours across full repositories.
Which is why the problem set for organizations has shifted entirely. It's no longer about maximizing the quality of one single prompt. It's about managing 3 new concepts: planning, state, and trust.
Exactly. When an agent runs for hours, it needs a reliable internal memory. We can define planning as its to-do list, the sequence of steps. State is its internal clipboard. It has to remember what step it's on, what it just did.
And trust, that third piece, is the audit trail. That's the proof of what the agent did, why it made those decisions over that long time frame. That's mandatory for any regulated industry.
And if this curve continues into 2026, AI will be able to reliably run entire high-value workflows end-to-end. That's why the biggest organizations are redesigning their entire AI strategies around this new capability.
So if AI task length is the critical variable, what issue defines the success or failure of these long-running automated systems?
The ability to prove what the agent did, ensuring reliable planning and state management, is now absolutely paramount. And that really summarizes the core movement. AI is accelerating from helpful assistant to autonomous workflow executor and simulation designer. The key lesson for you, the learner, is to shift your focus. Stop optimizing only for writing better prompts. You have to start focusing on the knowledge of better planning and trust systems for these powerful new agents.
And as a final thought to mull over, connect that concept task length doubling every 7 months back to your own professional life. If big organizations are already redesigning full workflows based on multi-hour autonomous tasks, ask yourself this. What common multi-hour task or research effort in your work life will be the first to be run end-to-end by an agent in the next 12 months?
Something worth exploring tonight.
Thank you for joining us for the deep dive. We'll be back soon with more insights from the cutting edge of change.